Happy New Year, everybody. I am Dom of X. First and foremost, I would like to thank all of you who are watching this video for helping me reach 2,500 subscribers. When the year had started, I had ambitious goals, but nothing could have surprised me for the rapid and successive growth that I have gotten over the last 8 months, to which I say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I would not be here talking to you behind this camera if it weren't for all of you tuning in every single video and being here every step of the way with me. That aside, a couple of announcements and what to expect from me in the upcoming months to come. The first is, I finally got a studio light. I want to give a big and huge shout out to my mother for purchasing this for me for Christmas Day as my Christmas gift. And yes, I've read the comments, I've seen people say get better lighting, and while I haven't been able to accommodate this in the past due to lack of monetary and also room space, I am determined to make this work for you guys and bring the best content that I possibly can in 2025 to be as professional as I possibly can. My main goal in 2025 is to be much closer to you guys. I've always felt a little bit disconnected in a sense. So this year is going to be a shift in focusing on building a community that is active so we can all talk about the medium that we love so much. Being new to the channel this year is a weekly new comics video where I briefly talking about what's coming out from both Marvel and DC, with Massiverse, Ghost Machine, and Giant Generator all thrown in there when appropriate, to talk about not only what's coming out, but what's also on my poll. I realized that most of my videos that came out in 2024, the biggest ones anyways in terms of views, were reference videos for people who was seeing what was available in the DC catalogs and the release dates update, which I will get around to later in the video. I want to make Dom of X the hub for everything correct and release dates, comics references, and everything else like that in the future. Prices, page counts, issues, series, so that you don't go around asking people, is this a brand new series that was published this year? If you own the domain comicreleases.com, you have to do something about it, right? And speaking of that,
if you haven't yet, check out our website, comicreleases.com, my and Webhead's love letter to comics, a hotspot where you can finally figure out what's coming out, when, from what place. Our unique upcoming website tracker in the Collected Editions tab makes sure that you're on top of every single collected edition coming out on the market, with release date updates to the minute, from the tiniest graphic novels to the Giant Generator deluxe hardcovers as large as an absolute. Our unique spreadsheet not only gives out the most accurate information out there, but our format also filters and ensure that you can find your books as quickly as possible. The tracker also gives out links to domestic and international retailers so that you can purchase your comic books at the snap of a finger. We are also proud to host monthly solicitations as per given by the publishers that generously send us information to give to you all. From the Ultimate Universe to the creator-loved Oceans and Universes, we specialize in giving you the most readable format of solicitations without any of the annoying advertisements. If you also donate to our Patreon at just $2 a month, which is less than a coffee at Starbucks, you will receive access to a special watch list dedicated to individually tracking items that are on your wish list, past or present. Place in your tracking number and make sure that these books also not only come in safe, you can even put in special comments on these as well. On top of that, your name will also show up at the end of every single Dom of X video creates as a huge thank you. That is comicreleases.com. For more information, check this out down in the description. If you also want to contact me or Webhead, check the contact forms down in the description or email me down in the description.
and the third thing that I want to bring to Dom of X next year are opinion videos. And I've been saying this plenty to people on different shows and different live streams, but one thing that I felt like I've lacked in 2024 was personality. And the most that I showed off was during a congratulations stream to Jake when I talked about how much I viscerally hated Logan, aka Wolverine, as a character. He's got fantastic comics though. Read Weapon X by Barry Windsor Smith when you get the chance, please. As much as being the reference hub, a bunch of HTML code isn't going to look great if it isn't surrounded by CSS. For those of you who don't program, pretty much just means I'm boring as a bunch of wiki text if I don't have anything to say about it. Some of my favorite YouTubers have both explanation pieces along with injecting critical thinking to their videos. The three YouTubers that I'm thinking off the top of my head that do this well are Sasha from Casually Comics, the folks over at Comic Pop with their discussion videos, and Salazar Knight, as all three have actually challenged my initial opinions on the comics I've read while doing a good job at giving the viewer their perspective on the stories or characters that are in question of discussing. I want to be able to do this too, which might mean the content that I move along forward is probably going to be a little bit different going into the future. Fourth on this list are single issue reading orders for newly published comics, as I do not have the time, money, or space to do really cool collected edition videos like Omar does on Near Mint Condition, something that we are, yes, both going to be discussing. As soon as Friday hits, we will try to get those out to you guys as much as possible. We have some ideas planned there. But what this does mean is that I can give people an idea for how to get into a run or a character by giving up a heads on commentary for titles that are coming out, along with a nice infographic on the side, which are detailing information needed to read through the book, along with creative teams on the title. And yes, I did say that during the Green Lantern Corps by Tomasi and Gleason Volume 2 Omnibus overview that I will be doing a Green Lantern by Jeff Johns era of comics reading order. I'm gonna be putting that sometime out, hopefully this month. I'm just waiting for the studio light, and I'm doing some re-recording after that, along with more graphics and things that I am working along with my friend Bryce. So I will get to that when I get to it. Finally, I'm going to be introducing a brand new monthly segment on my channel dedicated to spotlight new issue ones or series that were released in that month that blew me away. These are going to be held to 4 new issue ones that come out in every single month that are dedicated to titles that you need to add to your pull list if you're a single issues reader, or if you buy collected editions, something to look out for if you only get trade paperbacks, oversized hardcovers, omnibuses, or library editions, absolutes, whatever your preference might be for those. I believe that it's going to be a fantastic new segment that will hook both old and new readers and more people to my channel to inform you about these series. These might not just be from Marvel or DC, but it might be a brand new series coming out from Boom Studios, IDW, Massive, Oni Press, anything of the sort. I really want to be able to highlight some of my favorite reads throughout the month, and I'm going to be trying to doing that as much as possible. As well, some video types on my channel that I am going to continue absolutely, and the first ones are interviews. The amount of joy that I've had in talking to creators to pitch their all-in titles or even react to their issue 1 titles were some of the most fruitful conversations that I have had in the past 6 years, starting off with Jeremy Adams and ending off the year very, very strong with a 1.5 conversation with New Gods writer Ram V. It seems like you guys are enjoying them too, and I think interviewing is both a technical skill for parties involved and also a life skill that you just need in general.
More balanced, interesting lives in general.
And the great news is that all of the creators that I have talked to said that they want to be back on the channel, some on fruition of me asking them, and others saying, if you ever need me back on, just let me know. These creators all have super busy lives, but to be able to sit down with me to talk about their craft and love for the medium is something that I'm never ever going to take for granted. I do have one interview completely penciled in later this month, who also happens to be one of my favorite writers. I feel like I say that for every writer, so be sure to not miss out on any of those in the future. The second of which is going to continue is my monthly show with Kurtis Findlay of the Finest DC channel. Kurtis Findlay has not only been such an amazing co-host, but I'm proud to call him an amazing mentor as well as a friend. The 4 episodes that we have put out of Finest Fridays, along with the input that you guys give us in the chat monthly, has been nothing short of amazing, and it continues to have me be better at doing these live streams on something much more complicated than StreamYard, along with getting technically better at OBS, getting better at streaming, and getting better at video production. And in fact, we are in it completely for the long haul, as Kurtis also finds this not only to be incredibly fun, but it is also something that we now have penciled in every single month going forward for the next couple of years, or however long DC Finest continues to run. Solicitations are also not going away, but I'm planning on expanding them to also include Marvel single solicitations. I feel like it's going to be a nice complement to Omar's live stream to talk about the Marvel previews for collected editions. So for people running that might not know what some of these series are, I want to be able to give some of that information out to you folks as well. DC solicitations are usually the biggest video that I publish every month because, again, a lot of people view my channel as reference for single issues as well as comic book collected edition / single issue information. So I want to be able to do that with Marvel as well, because Marvel not only will attract new readers, but there is a lot of cross-section between Marvel DC readers along with some indies as well. The Ultimate Universe has been some of my favorite books that have come out in the past year or so, and I want to be able to bring that in for that company as well, considering that I also do get them from Marvel. Finally, I plan on trying to do more overviews for all. Like I said, I'm still waiting for the light to come in, so whenever that is, I will try to be out with that as quickly as possible. When it does, it's go time for all these books and the books I buy. Haul videos, I want to do those too. Like comics. The last two side notes that I have are that I have an ambitious documentary video that I am currently recording with a lot of different people. I still have a lot to pull in, but I will let you know when that comes out. I think it's going to be a great discussion video. And the people in it are people that you will have recognized either on my channel or Near Mint Condition or any of the other channels that I have been on. Also, there is something big that I am planning out in March with my local comic shop, so keep your eyes peeled there. It's going to be big. It's going to be huge. But that's going to be it for me. I also want to give a quick shout out to some of the people that have helped me and are close to me in helping me get to that 2,500 subscribers goal. The first of whom is, of course, Omar from Near Mint Condition. I cannot thank him enough for giving me a springboard to jumpstart my YouTube channel. Second is Webhead, the person who I run comicreleases.com with, for giving me more knowledge about the coding landscape, but also a website that I have been able to call home for the last 3 years counting. Third is Dylan Gray, and for all the years that we spent podcasting, I could not be in the spot without you. For those who might not know, he was my former co-host on a show that we called New and Nerdum. We have both since decided to split ways creatively, but he is still somebody I would call older mentor / brother / friend, and I would not be here without him. And so many more fantastic content creators who I have gotten to be friends with over the last 6 months, which is absolutely insane, including Jess of OmniDog's Vault for asking me to be on so many chaotic Saturday streams and Essential Collected Edition shows, Peter of CrushingCrisis.com, Jay from Breaking the Boys, Illuminati, BJ from Comics Are Dope, the other Dom from the Comic Book Report, Taylor of Taylor Talks Comics, Joe of Joe Talks Comics Podcast, Dan from Comics with Dan, and Chris Balga of Marvel Ultimate Alliance. And also want to thank my buddy Bryce for helping me out with Marvel After Effects graphics for the interviews and the outros for my channel. I would not be in this spot without you, my friend, and also being able to reconnect as well. I also want to thank some of my online friends for being close with me and helping me out with videos, with interview questions, and everything behind the scenes as well. There has been a lot of support in my life over the last year, a lot of rebuilding that I have been able to do, and I wouldn't be here without them, and I wouldn't be here without my family, and I wouldn't be here without you guys. And I also like, if you got through the end of this video, I'd like to thank you for watching. This means so much to me, and I can't wait for what will be an amazing 2025, hopefully. And I hope to see you soon, 2025, when this drops.